Welcome back to the channel. Today we're at Kempton EDMK and we're going to take off on this grass strip, which from the drone is much easier to identify. From in the plane it's a little more difficult to see if you're on the strip or not. Grass is quite high. So we're going to take off here and we're going to go visit Neuschwanstein, which I previously visited. Last time I was there actually I was on a motorcycle, so I'm going to insert some pictures here. They may not be the highest quality. I just had a small camera with me at the time. So on the grass strip, first thing we want to do is get our nose up. And then here we are. We're airborne now, so we can put our nose down slightly and gain some speed. Then we're going to cross over here the lake, turn left over the hills and straight on to Neuschwanstein, with some really cool views of the Alps as we fly towards Neuschwanstein. It won't take a long time to get there. Normally we'd need a little bit more altitude here, but we were just in the simulator, so it will be fine. I can begin our left turn here. So guys, if you're new to the channel, at the moment I'm just doing sightseeing flights to share them. Why not, as we're all stuck at home nowadays, over here at least. And of course I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel and like some of the videos. That'd be really good. There will be more coming in the future. I'm going to try and put out 1 or 2 a week. So let's see how that goes. There's our little subscribe reminder. We have a steady climb going here. Cessna 172 isn't a great climbing airplane, but our shadow is following us along there faithfully, so that's good. Quite a nice view over there. We have the sun just over the Alps at the moment. I still have 10 degrees of flaps out, but I don't want to pull them back in until I've gained a little bit more altitude. So probably as we cross over the water here, I'll pull those flaps in. So I hope you're enjoying the view. I'm going to insert some pictures here that I took while I was there. Neuschwanstein Castle has been handcrafted by the Microsoft Flight Simulator team. So it looks really, really cool. And you'll see, comparing it with real life pictures, they've done a fantastic job. So Neuschwanstein Castle, it was built by King Ludwig II of Bavaria, as far as I remember. And finally it was officially opened in 1886. So that's not bad, you know. They're a hell of a lot faster than Berlin Airport when you think about it. Back in those days they knew how to get stuff done. A lovely view of Bavaria there as we fly over the Autobahn. We're heading out here on a heading of 110 degrees from Kempton, which will bring us pretty much right up to Neuschwanstein. There it is. You can see it in the distance. You can see it in the pictures I've just put in. It's a pretty impressive castle. Get some more pictures here. You can go up there by horse, of course, if you want. You don't have to go up all the steps, and also by bus. So that picture was taken from the village down below. There's a second castle there in the village, and there's many hotels, bed and breakfasts, small hotels. Very, very nice place to stay. I stayed there overnight. It's a really, really cool place to stay, right at the foot of the castle, basically. And easy access to a little lake right beside it. It's really nice. There's our shadow, still following us along. And you can see the Bavarian countryside looks quite nice, as it does in reality. It's an absolutely wonderful place to tour around, either by airplane or also on a motorcycle. It's pretty cool. You should be able to just about make out Neuschwanstein Castle ahead of us. So it's basically directly in front of us, maybe 1 or 2 degrees to the right. So just off the nose there you can see Neuschwanstein. It's at the foot of the Alps and just behind that large lake that we're coming up on. At the moment, I think Neuschwanstein, they're doing some renovations. It's still open, apparently. Normally they get about 1.3 million visitors a year, they say. That's quite impressive. I don't think they have that many visitors this year, or in 2020. There's some pictures from the castle looking down on the village and the lake. It's a really, really nice view from the castle. So I hope you guys like that I put in a couple of pictures. If you do, let me know in the comments down below and I can keep doing it. And it will limit me, I guess, only to flying to places I've already been that I have pictures of. Well, that's quite a few places actually, so I think we'll be good for a while. That's the castle itself, so you can compare that now with what you'll see when I pop out in the drone. It's what the first thing you see when you come in the entrance. It's very, very impressive. And I believe King Ludwig II actually moved in 1 or 2 years before it was officially opened, so that he could live there and see. That view and that view are both from the castle, just showing different types of weather you get there. As it's at the foot of the Alps, the weather can change, so you're not always guaranteed a sunny day like we have today, magically. Microsoft Flight Simulator was very kind to us today and gave us really, really nice weather. And some more pictures of the castle. That's taken from the bridge. And there's the bridge I took that picture from. And if you look down the other side of the bridge, you can see the water running underneath. It's quite impressive. And we're still flying over the German countryside here. That's a picture of the castle from the village down below. It's actually from the hotel window where I stayed. It's at night time, but it looks really, really impressive, and very impressive to wake up in the morning, look out your window and see that. That's why I would really recommend, if you have the chance at all, to go there, as it was quite a hike for me to get down there, so staying overnight and staying in that little village at the bottom was a really, really good idea. I'm very happy I did that. Of course, if it's full or whatever, there's also a lot of accommodation in the area, which is, I'm sure, also very nice. So here we go, here are the Alps. So I did actually fly to Kempton once with a friend of mine, and we had a really nice time. We didn't get to stay too long because we had to bring the airplane back, but it's a really, really nice airfield. It's grass strips and you have high enough elevation all around you, so you do want an airplane that can climb. But it's very, very active as well. There was a lot of activity when we were down there. It must be one of the nicest grass strips around, actually, where you can take off and just fly around lakes Have a look at Neuschwanstein, have a look at the Alps. It's a really, really nice place, and it's not too far from Friedrichshafen. So the day we flew down there, actually, we had initially intended to land in Friedrichshafen, but Friedrichshafen was closed. So now you should definitely be able to see Neuschwanstein Castle ahead of us. If you can't, maybe that's a great excuse to buy a bigger TV. You'll always find reasons. And these mountains are quite big, of course. The Alps are very big. A great place to go skiing. I won't insert any of my skiing pictures here, but yeah. So now I'm just going to turn over here to the right, as I don't want to fly over the castle head on. Otherwise, I'm going to be heading straight into the Alps in a Cessna 172 that doesn't exactly climb like a jet airplane, that's for sure. So we're going to come over here around this lake. I'm going to do a very steep turn, spin back, and pass the castle on my right. So this is going to be a pretty steep turn, actually, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe a little bit too steep. But I just want to position myself just right if I can. So again, you wouldn't do this in real life. At least I wouldn't. Maybe some people would. And there we have it, Neuschwanstein right in front of us. So in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, it looks really, really cool. I'm looking forward to their next update. We're going to do some trips in Ireland, hopefully. I'm going to see what they do to Blarney Castle and a few places like that. It should be really, really cool. So there's our airplane. We just find a nice parking space in the middle of the sky, which is a really cool thing you can do in a simulator. That should be fine. We have plenty of space there to park. That's a lake underneath us. And directly underneath us is the village where I stayed. There you can see it. There's a little village comprising of mostly tourist accommodation and a few little tourist shops. Now we've popped into the drone. So I'm going to try and spin around here, give you some good views of the castle in the simulator. I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, I haven't still quite got the knack of the Xbox controller for the drone, but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. So I hope this looks okay on your screen. You can compare this now to some of the pictures that I have already taken and shown you. It should look quite similar. There's the entrance and the main courtyard. And I must say they have done a really, really cool job on this castle. Oh, the front door is closed at the moment. So good thing we have a drone. It's a very, very impressive castle. And the inside is fantastic too. I did have many pictures of the inside as well, but I'm not sure whether or not we were supposed to take pictures on the inside. You never know. Generally speaking, if in doubt, there's probably a rule in Germany against doing it. That's just the way to stay safe in Germany. Nice aerial view here of the Neuschwanstein Castle. And you can look down there. There's a second castle which is directly in front of us. It is not handcrafted, so it doesn't look that cool. But it's in some of the pictures I've included. Yeah, so staying overnight down here is really nice. You can get up in the morning, look at a nice view of the castle, go for a wander over to the lake. I don't know if you can walk all the way around the lake. I didn't, anyway. Get some nice food and then head on up to the castle. And as I showed you earlier, you have several choices. I walked up, but there are other forms of transport to get there. So right there is, if you can make it out, that's the other castle, but it doesn't really look like it looks in reality. But the trees and the mountains and the lake, they look really cool. So there's Neuschwanstein. That's what it looks like from the village. That picture's at night time, of course, because that was when I was sleeping down there. So now we're going to jump back and fly back. So I'm going to cut the video here slightly because I did spend quite a while doing several flybys just for fun. And I try and keep the video a little bit shorter. There's our lake right in front of us. Actually, we can shorten our trip quite a bit. If we look ahead of us here, there is actually a glider strip that we could land on. So I'm not sure in real life if you're allowed to land a 4-seat Cessna 172 here. I think it's probably just gliders and maybe ultralights, things like that. But we're in the simulator, so we're going to land there now. So hopefully you can see that strip in front of us. You've identified it. We're currently at 100 knots, so as I turn here, I'm gonna need to keep my nose up, pull the power back, slow down the airplane. And now I can extend the first notch of flaps and extend the second notch of flaps and get my speed down. I want my speed around 65 here. That's good. Okay, you can see the strip there in front of me. So I've turned there a little bit early. You would wait a few seconds in real life to turn, but as we only have one screen here, it's more interesting to keep an eye on the runway. So what's that? Oh, we have these electrical pylons here. Let's skip over them. Okay, we got our third notch of flaps out there. I just gave it a tiny bit of power just to kind of jump over those pylons. Which is strange in Germany. They like putting pylons or railways or sometimes even just plant 5 or 6 trees at the end of the runway to make things interesting. I've never quite understood that. So the surface is not very even. We're going to keep the nose up here. And we're going to try and touch down gently if we can. There we go, keeping our nose up. And we're going to keep our nose up until it falls down by itself. You can see that patch of dirt up there is probably where everyone drops their nose wheel. So let's see. Yep, there we go. Landed. So this is Fusen glider field. And this patch of dirt here looks like a good place to turn around. Maybe this is our taxiway out. We have some hangars here. If we can park in there for the night. I don't see any doors big enough for this. So let's just spin around here. We get a nice view of the mountains. And we can park here. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the flight. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And I'll do another sightseeing video soon. Take care. See you for the next one.